So she was at the hospital with my mom by her bedside every day. And my mom ended up passing away with my aunt there. My aunt was next to her. My aunt told me a story saying that she was with my mom the entire time just in the hospital. And then she went to the bathroom to use the bathroom. When she came back, my mother was gone. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Mommy with Beauty and the Bunch. And I'm back with another video. Okay, so this video is a story time actually. Now you guys know a lot of my story times, you guys, I've been talking about
we got that music back there.
Music? Tell them cut it down. A lot of my story times that I tell you guys, that I've previously told you guys, were like, you know, heartbreaking stories and stories of like, you know, things that happened to me that was unfortunate that I wanted to share. And I just felt like it was only right to do this video. It was only right to do a positive story time, and I couldn't have thought about somebody better than who I'm about to introduce you guys to, that you guys don't know much about. Now before I begin, I know that I come on here, you guys, and I share my family a lot, and then you guys are like, oh my gosh, I love your family, you guys are so close, and then you guys, unfortunate situation happens, and then you'll see us like bicker, or you'll no longer see us together, or we'll just like eventually be apart. But this person I'm about to tell you about, you guys, I don't think there's anything in life that can ever happen. I don't think there's anything in life that can ever happen that will cause us to think anything different of what the person I'm about to tell you about. So the person I'm about to speak about is my Auntie Lany. You guys haven't heard much about her. I'm hopefully I can get a picture and put it here. But you guys I haven't spoke much about her, Auntie Lany, only because it's like, unfortunately, I don't speak to her much. I just don't speak to a lot of people. I don't speak to most of my family in South Africa, and it's not because of nothing bad. It's just life. Our life just went separate ways, and it's just not what I do on a daily basis. And also, maybe I should, and probably I will eventually. I'm sure all of us, or who's supposed to make it back in your life, will eventually make it back in your life. But anyway, my Auntie Lany. So Auntie Lany is my mother's older sister, and Lany was very, very protective of my mother, and she called my mother Paulie. Like it was like my mother was a baby her whole life. She used to be like Paulie in a sweet little voice, when, you know, back in the day. And my mother was this grown woman. But anyways, so you guys know that when I was 14 years old, my mother got diagnosed with cancer. She eventually went to treatment. She eventually went to treatment, and what was that? And chemotherapy. And they cut it out of her breast. It was breast cancer. So they cut it out of her breast. And we thought that she'll be fine after that. She was like, oh, they removed it and things like that. Unfortunately, it grew back soon after, and my mother started getting sick really, really quickly, and she passed away when I was 15 years old. Now, before she passed away, the doctors knew that she was passing away. When she was in hospice, we needed a family member or an adult to, or a family member, because my mother was all we had. My whole family was in South Africa, and she did have a boyfriend that we called Uncle Ricky. And I don't know where he was, honestly. And to be real, I don't want to like switch stories, but Uncle Ricky didn't really Uncle Ricky was there on and off. He was in the army, so you know, sometimes he was there and sometimes he was not there because he was shipped off in the army. But I'm more than sure that Uncle Ricky had his own family, and he was living a double life. And he had a wife and children on the side. So that's why Uncle Ricky wasn't available. Or even when she passed away, we couldn't look to him for like guidance or like, okay, what now, you know? And also I wasn't like, my dad wasn't in my life. And I never yearned for my dad, because my mom never spoke bad about him. So I never, you know, I've always like dreamt about, oh, I have a dad somewhere, but it just stayed there. But I think that's the one time in my life where I was hoping that maybe my dad would call and try to look for a solution, a resolution, because in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, all we have is my mom. Like, what are we going to do? We're in the United States with nobody. We have no other adult, no family. What are we going to do? In any event, my auntie's in South Africa, so she went through a whole another thing trying to come back to South Africa because the doctor, she was informed that my mom's dying, she's in the hospice, and we need, she needs someone there. And with the kids, we need to like set up social security. We had to go to like offices and like, okay, so I was really, really young, so I don't remember exactly what we were going to all these different places for, but I do know we were going to different places. Like I think the social security office, my mom had to sign off on a lot of things because everybody knew that she wouldn't be here any longer, and she had to sign off on some things and give my aunt, I don't know what it was, because I was 15 at the time, and all I knew that is my mother was dying. So I remember us going to this one office. I'm sure it was a social security office, and she had to sign off on some paper. She was in a wheelchair. We brought her there, and she's the only one who could sign off on it. And I'll never forget, she started writing, her name is Ingrid, so she started writing her name. She used to sign her name Ingrid Adair, like in cursive, like her whole name out. And she did the I in cursive, and she was like, she did the I in cursive, and then she tried to do the N, and then she forgot, and then she started scribbling, and then she'll do the I again and the N, and we tried over and over again for her to, she couldn't remember how to spell her name, because at this time the cancer had spread to her brain, so she couldn't remember how to spell her name. She couldn't remember anything. She forgot how to walk at sometimes. And then one time we were sitting at home, and they had brought, like, hospice had brought a bed to our home, so they had like a hospital bed in our living room, and that we had to replace with our sofa. And a family friend walked in. It was somebody that we used to go to church with, and she walked in. She's like, "Hey, Ingrid." My mom looked. She was like, "Who is this ugly lady? Who is this ugly lady right here?" And she just kept calling the lady ugly. She wasn't in her right mind, and this was her friend. And then also she was like, that same day she was like, I don't know, I guess she was hearing a phone. She thought a phone was ringing or something, and she was talking on the phone. She was like, "Hello," with her hand. She was like, "Hello, hello." And it was something so hard to watch as a child, because you look to your parents and your mom, especially that was the only guardian that we had, the only adult that we had around. No babysitters, no family, no aunts, no uncles, no cousins, no nothing. You look for them to protect you, but for you to see them like literally in baby form, literally like went from adult to a baby in the snap of a finger, was very different to watch. And this one time I remember she was sitting on the sofa and she couldn't really remember how to walk because her brain, and she had no clothes, and we were putting her clothes on, me and my brother, her night clothes, some shorts on. She was like, "No, I want to put my clothes on." And then we trying to put these shorts on her so she won't be naked. And she's like pulling them down. She's like, "No, I want to put my clothes on." And she's like arguing with us and fighting with us. And we're like, "We are putting your clothes on." She's like, "No, I want to put my shorts on." The very thing that we were doing. So we literally just watched her do things that was out of like, and this just happened out of the blue. You can imagine. I'm sure you can just imagine what it was like as a child to watch that. And not knowing yourself what to do, or you can't help, No. But anyway, so Auntie Lany, she used her own money, and if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't easy, and I think she took it. I don't know if this is, it's not really a big thing or anybody's business, but I just want to show you guys how amazing she is. I think she took the money away from like her bond or a home or something she had, like, or to pay for a ticket to come here. That's what I was told. Maybe not. But anyways, my auntie came with the quickness. She got an emergency visa to come here to the United States, because it's not easy to come from South Africa to here. But because my mother was dying, it was emergency, so she was able to come immediately. She ended up coming immediately, and she stayed down here in the United States with us while my mom was sick. And yeah, I don't know, I think it was like for a few weeks. So she was at the hospital with my mom by her bedside every day. And my mom ended up passing away with my aunt there. My aunt was next to her. My aunt told me a story saying that she was with my mom the entire time, just in the hospital, and then she went to the bathroom to use the bathroom. When she came back, my mother was gone. So I guess my mom just waited for her to like walk away. And I hear those stories all the time about it. Even happened with Duval's brother. I'll talk about that later. But anyway, so Lany was down here. She supported us and ended up taking me and my two sisters down to South Africa. Now my two older siblings, Aisha and Herman, they didn't want to come to South Africa. Number one, Aisha had a boyfriend that she was madly in love with, and we were also going to school here. We had a whole life with new friends, like, because we had been down in the United States. I had been down in the United States for 5 years at that time. So we like had a life. We had friends. Like going back to South Africa was kind of like, whoa, okay. So it was just so instant. My mother died and boom, we had to just leave. So yeah, my brother refused. Like he didn't care what nobody said. He was like, I'm not going. My older sister did not want to go, but she ended up listening to my, you know, she ended up going. But we had return tickets. So later on, my sister ended up coming back a couple of weeks later because she just couldn't take it being in South Africa. She was like, I want to go to school. I need to finish school there, blah, blah, blah. School? You need to finish school? Yay. Go to that man of yours, girl. Go to that man of yours. Go to that man of yours. But anyways, yeah, she ended up flying back to the United States. Ended up with her husband. They now are married with, what, 3, 4 children? 3? Anyway, so Lany brought me and Charlene now back to South Africa. And so now we are living in Lany's home with Lany. And we started going to school there. Lany started supporting us, buying our school clothes. Very into everything that we loved. Very into our friends. Our friends always came to visit by Lany, and we would eat there. And like Lany was just always into making us happy. And she used to always say, oh, by the way, when my mother died, she said I promised my mother I'm gonna take care of Ingrid's children. And by the way, I have a story time on here that has something to do with my family member that wasn't so good, and it happens to be Lany's daughter. So, and it's not so much of a good story. And I was so heartbroken that because I'm like thinking to myself, like, I just hope that Lany always remembers that there's nothing she could have done, and there's nothing, and I appreciate it and love her so much. But anyway, I just want to say before I continue this video, like, Lany, you did everything you were supposed to do and more. The promise that you made to my mother, you carried it and you did it so well. You did it so well. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all, you know? And I want to thank you for that. You didn't have to do that. And I pray to God that I make it, that I continue to work hard and make it big one day, because I'm going to take care of Lany, and I owe Lany big time, okay? I owe Lany, and I don't even think that she knows this. She has no idea. I haven't spoken to Lany in so long. I don't think she knows this. But thank you, my auntie. I love you. But anyway, we ended up going back to South Africa. Me and Charlene stayed there for 2 years. Now, we went to school. We went to Westbury High in South Africa. We made some new friends. And me and Charlene also, we made our own little dance thing. Our little dance team. I think we would call the hip hop girls. And we used to be dancing just in the streets. And all the people like out of the neighborhood would come and watch us. And Lany would be our #1 fan. She would buy our little outfits and stuff like that. Whether her family agreed with it or not. And rest in peace to my Uncle Petty. And I also thank him for allowing me to be in his home. Yeah. But yeah, Lany went through a lot of adversity to like keep us happy and to support us. And she was #1 with our dance team. She was like, hip hop girls, hip hop girls. And she'd just be the front, y'all, and just screaming our name. Like, and she used to like, we used to be in the neighborhood, y'all. And then I'll tell you about that. But we used to be in the neighborhood, and she used to be like, they looking for you. Come dance, let's go. They looking for you, let's go. And she used to bring us to a low, right where my granny used to live in Westbury, in the hood. And then we'll just start dancing, and they'll have like a whole crowd coming around in South Africa. And it was just like the most supportive thing that I've ever felt. It's the most important, put him back in his car seat. It's the most important thing that I've ever felt in my whole entire life. So yeah, I appreciate those good times. Anyways, what else do I have to say about Lany? I don't want to say nothing uncomfortable because I don't want to make her uncomfortable. This is about her. But like, she protected me. Oh yeah, and so she said she made this promise to my mother that she's gonna protect us. And then every single time somebody would do something to us, y'all, or something would happen, she says, Ingrid Sekeners. Don't do that. Ingrid Sekeners means Ingrid's children. So she'll always say, don't do that to Ingrid's children. She would address us as, still to this day, if somebody was to do something to us, whether it be her sibling, whether it be somebody close to her, whether it be even her own child, she's gonna say, those are Ingrid's children. Don't do that to Ingrid's children. Ingrid Sekeners, Ingrid Sekeners. So like, that's how she addresses us. And I don't know, it's just the most beautiful thing. I can't wait to see my aunt. And I don't know why I feel like I have to do something before. I can't wait to call her one day and just be like, this is yours, or like, I'm gonna see you, or like, surprise. I just can't wait to have that opportunity to say thank you, because I don't think that she knows that she's done what she's supposed to do and more. I don't think that she knows that. I think, in fact, she may feel guilty for certain things because, okay, so when I left Lancy's house, it was kind of an unfortunate situation. I told you guys about that story where I lost my virginity, and I got in big trouble. I got in big trouble, and I especially got in big trouble by my cousin, which is Lancy's daughter, and yeah, I got in big trouble. I ended up in jail. I have a story time on that, y'all, so if you want to look that up. But and I just also want to add to that I was 17 years old at the time, and I was still a child living under my aunt's roof. So like, my aunt could have disciplined me in any kind of way and had the right to do that, and that's okay, and it was very, very necessary. So even though my aunt wasn't the big discipliner in this situation or in any other situation, because she mainly just showed more love and support than anything, and she couldn't control the situation herself, so but was very, very not mean to me throughout the whole process, and she should have been. But even if I would have gotten in huge trouble with her, if she would have beat my ass or anything, like, I deserved it. I was a child. I lost my virginity. I was in a home, and nobody wants to hear that. My auntie is like, nobody wants to hear that. Like, so I take responsibility for my side of the situation, and I'm sure that was very, very hard. I'm sure I put my aunt in a very, very hard situation when I did that, in between her daughter, her family, and then me, and everything that was happening. I put her in a hard situation because now she has to, like, Ingrid's child. So yeah, so the whole time, even throughout all that time, I felt her, and she's never physically or emotionally left my side, no matter what happened, no matter what went on. And so I left in I left her home, and it wasn't in a good note. I just had to leave. It was time for me to go. The household was just it's just like a lot was happening. The whole household was like turning upside down, and Lancy tried her best, and I ended up going to Auntie Jackie. And this was after Auntie Jackie. I stayed there for a few months right before I moved right back to America, and here I am sitting with you today at 36 years old, living in the United States. But yeah, so when I left Lancy's house, it was very sad, and Lancy was very, like, I'll never forget, like, emotional. I felt the look in her eyes. Like, I could just feel everything. I just feel in my heart that she thinks that she maybe failed us in some sort of way, and it would break my heart, y'all. Like, it would break my heart for her to think that, for her to live like that. So before I get older, life is going on so long. And I'm hoping to tell her this in person, and show her this in person more than anything, that I'm so grateful for what she's done for me and what she's done for my mom, and the promise that she's kept to my mother. And I don't know. And yeah, Lancy was the one. Lancy, now we have my granny had 10 there's 10 siblings that I knew of. Maybe 12, but the other 2, like, I'm not sure, and maybe they were babies. But I mean, like, growing up, there were 10 of them, 5 girls and 5 boys. And Lancy is I don't know if Lancy is the oldest, but she's one of the oldest. And she was just always the protector out of life. I'll never forget, like, no matter who said what, no matter who complained in a home, no matter who, like, and I'm so sorry, I just had to say this, and I don't mean to, like, whatever, but no matter who said what in a home that she loved, and she loved everyone, no matter who said what, no matter who complained, Lancy took care of people. She would, if she had to sneak to feed you, if she had to sneak to give you money to make sure that you're okay, if you wanted to eat, if you wanted to eat, you can come knock on Lancy's door. And that's what a lot of people did. Jason, you want to eat? You want to eat?
Can I get something I didn't eat all
You want to
day?
eat, Jason?
Can I get something? You want to eat?
Mm-hmm.
You want some food?
Okay, let's eat, Jason. You want some fries? So it's like Lancy even had me and my younger sister. Like, I will never forget that. She'll be like, I'm not gonna tell you the full story in depth, but she used to be like, here's the food. She'll give a bags of meat, and she used to be like, go around and go give Granny all of this food or whatever. And we used to like sneak in the back and go give Granny some food. And regardless of what it looked like at the time, like her heart always spoke up for her, like more than like if she didn't even say nothing. She's very much quiet, one of the quiet ones, laid back ones, one of the cool ones. She loves just chilling and cooking. She loves cooking, and she used to like have a little small shot of like brandy while she's cooking, like a little teeny bit, and just be cooking happily for the family. And then she'll feed everybody, and would go sit down and not even eat because she wouldn't have an appetite. And she'll even like wipe the plates, y'all. She would like fix your food and then wipe the sides of your plate clean, and then give it to you so presentable, like so neatly. She's not gonna give you
Can I have
anything less than a 5-star.
a Happy Meal, hamburger, Happy Meal?
Y'all know that feeling of like when you're younger and then you like, you know, and you have the most amazing mother ever, and then you tell yourself, like, when I get older, I'm gonna buy, and you tell your mother, when I get older, I'm gonna take care of, so I'm gonna buy us a house and this and that. I pray to God, and I don't feel like I'm in the position at this moment to do something for my aunt the way I want, of what she deserves. But I pray to God that,
Give me a sec. I'm waiting for the manager real quick, bro. Okay.
I pray to God that He continues to bless me, because that's how I feel about my aunt. Like, when I get older, when I get better, when I get in a better position, I want to do this. Like, I just want to spoil her. I just want to give her back anything before like anything happens to either one of us. Like, you know, my uncle already died, and rest in peace to my uncle, which is her husband, who died recently. So she's going through like, so she's at home alone now for the first time in her life. And then I think her daughter moved out, so, and her daughter also has lived with her all these years. All that time and all those years I was there, her daughter was there, her husband was there, we were there. Then we were gone, then it was her daughter and her husband. But now just recently, her husband passed away and her daughter moved out. So I think she's just like, she's like at home, like just living life. I'm sure she's okay. And I hope she's okay. But I love you, Lany, and I've been meaning to tell you this for a very, very long time, and I wasn't able to. But I appreciate you so much, and thank you so much for. And by the way, me and every last one of my siblings feel this way. And
Double cheese with sweet tea. What was order?
The big order.
Big order. Okay. Do you want a cup orders?
Sure.
Me and all of my siblings collectively feel this way. We have never ever had anything bad to say about my aunt. Never will have anything bad to say about my aunt. She could do anything, and we will not ever, because she has changed our lives and been there in our lives. It's like, she came and she was there for my mother when my mother needed her the most, and I cannot thank her for that enough. I can't give my life to her to thank her enough. So I love you so much, Auntie Lany. I pray to speak to you very soon, and just have the rest of my days knowing that you're okay, and knowing that you know that you very much appreciate it.
So 6 drinks in total, right?
And you are our auntie forever. And thank you so much for
Yeah, that look right.
what you did for my mother, your sister. And Ingrid Zaganers. Love you, my auntie. Bye, guys. Talk to you later.
For Jeremy.